Welcome to All Change, the programme that puts design at the heart of the learning experience. Today we're at 4 Acres Primary School in Bristol, where we're going to be transforming a Year 2 classroom for a new member of staff, an ideal opportunity for a fresh start. At 4 Acres School, all the classrooms have their own access from the outside, which is great for parents dropping their children off in the morning, but it can feel a little chaotic. In the Year 2 classroom, we're going to be reorientating the space to ensure that children can start the day feeling relaxed and safe.
The route into the Year 2 classroom means parents bringing children into class at the start of the day have to go right through the area that pupils sit with the teacher, causing disruption. We're going to be moving the children away from the traffic to provide a more tranquil atmosphere. And also in today's programme, the new school in Essex, which helps provide excellent community facilities for the people living around it. And a radical design for a new school which architects have integrated into its local environment. And some ideas for purchasing some exciting audio-visual equipment. The Year 2 classroom is quite a large, bright space, which will be used by a brand new teacher who starts the day after our work is finished. We consulted with the school before asking our designers to come up with some solutions for 4 Acres. Shalanda de Cruz Architects in Birmingham used elements of their design for this nursery at Glasgow in Tamworth for the 4 Acres project. The building opened in 2003 and provides daycare facilities for a densely populated housing estate. The building is light and airy, with good use of natural materials, and a central open hub which provides a flexible space for breakout activities. A key element of the nursery's design is connecting the landscape outside with the interior spaces to give children a big world to learn in. Clear-story windows, high-up coloured walls are used very effectively.
One of the things we did at Glasgow was to connect the clerestory datum together with this yellow stripe, and it's almost like you've got this shaft of sunlight coming in through the clerestory. And at 4 Acres we've done that with a blue stripe rather than the yellow one, so that you've almost got the blue sky there when it isn't there, if you're sort of gazing out of the clerestory, if you happen to be using the space. You can see the blue sky and then the stripe connecting into the room, and it's like bringing the elements and nature into the classroom.
There were a couple of issues that we had to resolve in the classroom, and one was this sort of conference zone in front of the whiteboard, where when the early kids came in the morning, they sat down on the carpet in front of the whiteboard, but it was also in the way of this route out to the external play area. So what we needed to do was to create some separate little learning spaces that were sort of screened off, and also to give the classroom a general kind of brighten up.
Here we've got this route going through, which Maria's already mentioned, but also we've got the potential for this breakout space. And the way we've divided that off is to create this screen. What
we tried to achieve with the screens was to have something very translucent, so using translucent polycarbonate screens in a white and green and blue to let the light through, but just create a little bit of privacy.
At 4 Acres, the new teacher, Surajit Roy, made time to help clear out the room. He'd only just arrived in Bristol and had to fit planning for his new classes around the work on the classroom.
So John, this is where parents and children actually come into the classroom in the morning.
And this is the problem, because right in front of us we have another door there where they go and actually leave their coats. And then they come back in here, they try and congregate around to this area. You've then got other parents and children coming in. They've then got to walk all the way around them because we've got the whiteboard here and the children like to sit in front of the whiteboard. So the idea is we take that whiteboard and we put it onto that wall over there. And then we screen off the doorway. This gives the thoroughfare then, so the children then will congregate on that area there, because we're going to put some carpet tiles down, so it's a soft area for them. Which then, of course, takes us over to this section here, where we have another piece of screening, creating a quiet area there. They want to go and read, they want to go and sit, do a little bit of studying in the small areas. And of course, that takes us to the colour. So predominantly the room is white to keep it nice and bright, but also we've got colours of nature there. We've got the blue of the sky here, so on a grey day there's still that memory of the blue sky, and also the green for the foliage. And that basically is the whole plan of the room.
It's going to be great.
Hopefully.
The blue will help bring the sky into the room. John Craig got started on the room dividers, and Deputy Head Mark Lunn and his son Elliot got cracking. The whiteboard was moved 90 degrees round the room, which will be a big help to the new class teacher.
She, this is an extra challenge for you this weekend, isn't it? Because you haven't even started at the school yet.
That's right, yeah.
Are you looking forward to completely revamping your classroom before you get underway?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like, yeah.
Now, you're an experienced teacher. Tell me what you look for in your learning environment.
I think organisation is very, very important. How children move through the classroom, where resources are stored. It's got to be an attractive environment that children enjoy being in.
And this is a wonderful setting. Are you going to be able to make use of the fact that your classroom opens to the outside?
I hope so. Once the summer sun comes out, yeah.
Because your classroom opens directly into
Straight out into the playground.
And what do you think you'll be able to do outside with the pupils?
Hopefully a lot of art activities, science activities, investigations that we can use the grounds here for, yeah.
And we're going to be dividing the classroom up into different areas for you.
Yes, I'm quite excited about the corner that we're going to be separating off. I think that's going to be a lovely environment to work with small groups of children, or to give them some space to work independently or privately as well.
So come Monday, when the pupils come back, it'll be a fresh start for everyone, won't it?
It'll be fantastic, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing their faces, because it's a new start for me, but it's a new start for them too. They've got a new teacher, a new classroom, and hopefully we're going to enjoy it, yeah.
Lots of paint going up. John Craig made up the timber frames for the low-cost room dividers to help keep the traffic at bay.
Mark, you're painting this a nice bright white colour, aren't you? It was a bit dull before.
Yeah, definitely Magnolia Madness. It's very, very bland across the school. It's nice to get a very stark white against a splash of colour. It sort of breaks things up an awful lot.
And do you think the children will notice the difference when they arrive for school?
They will. They'll see a big difference, and I'm sure they'll respond accordingly.
The Extended Skills agenda means that many new designs are incorporating a whole range of community facilities. Having a public library which is open all year round can really enhance the work of a school. At Chafford 100 in Thurrock, they've provided a high-tech, all-age learning environment which has got many facilities for their local community. Chafford 100 is an all-age campus which was opened in September 2001 to cater for Thurrock's growing population. The school's integrated curriculum provides 3 two-hour lessons each day in a purpose-built environment.
What we want to do is create a philosophy or a centre for teaching and learning excellence within the building. So the teachers had input into the classrooms, for example, the design of the classrooms. And what we wanted is multi-purpose rooms. With our curriculum, or the integrated curriculum, where we don't teach history lessons, we don't teach geography lessons, we don't teach English lessons, we teach topic lessons, it's really important that we have a room that can cater a need for all those subjects.
Chafford 100 has an imposing triple-height atrium. An architectural innovation has been married with broadband and wireless technology to provide all students with access to a laptop. Swipe cards open lockers and enable an electronic registration system.
Very useful, because when we're doing our work, we can go on the internet and research stuff, and we can send it to each other and do presentations as well, like for assembly, or we'll do it for our work. And sometimes we can send our work to our teachers so they can mark it and stuff instead of doing it on written paper.
Some amendments have had to be made.
What we found in different classrooms around the school is that we had to modify the acoustics. The art room has actually got structures coming down from the ceiling to actually help the acoustics within the classroom. So this means that the teacher can have a quiet, calm, relaxed atmosphere without having the need to raise and strain her voice.
Chafford 100 is currently having an extension built. The campus provides learning from 3 to 16 and offers a wide range of courses for the adult learner. The public library provides a key resource for students and adults in the local community.
Lots of adult education taking place here, lots of social events taking place here. It's even possible for people to get married here. But obviously we don't encourage that within the students. But you know, this is a real community centre for the new development of Chafford 100.
Now girls, this is kind of like a little separate room in the classroom. And behind you is a big blue wall. And I thought, rather than having a blue wall there, we'd paint a picture, like a mural.
Yeah.
Can you all paint pictures?
Yeah.
Do you all like painting pictures?
Yeah.
Now girls, for this mural downstairs, in the room we're going to do fields and trees and sky and things like that. Now we've all got a favourite thing that we want to paint. Now Libby, I know you like painting...
Snails.
Snails. And Poppy?
Houses.
Ellie?
Spiders.
And Bethan?
Trees.
Trees. Right girls, if you look behind me, outside, inspiring. It's got sky, it's got trees, it's got bushes, it's got roads, it's got cars, it's got people, aeroplanes, whatever you want to draw, even if it's your favourite. If you want to do another drawing, you do that as well. Okay? Good luck.
The children reacted well to the glorious view from 4 Acres Creative Space, an art room which was developed in a creative partnerships project. Finding expression through arts and crafts is a key part of the curriculum at 4 Acres. Four Acres School has a typical 1950s design, but the school's advisory head teacher is determined that its learning environment should now reflect contemporary needs.
When the school was built, it was built with every room the same and with lots of very boring and functional corridors. And now what we're looking to do is to create an environment where every area of the school speaks learning and talks about the ethos of the school in terms of learning, but also provides a stimulating, motivating and appropriate environment to learn.
A great example of Wendy Marriott's approach is this nurture room, where children are given time to go and relax, chill out and reflect on their day. And the recruitment of Shu, the new Year 2 teacher, will also help.
Shu's been out of teaching for a short while. He's an experienced teacher. He's coming back in at a time when the curriculum is changing. Key Stage 1 children, we now know, we need to build on the practice that they've developed in foundation stage to make learning exploratory and interesting and motivating for our Key Stage 1 children. But the room was particularly bland and boring. So by changing the room at the time when he's coming in and taking on the new curriculum, I think that will give him a real head start into thinking about how he's going to teach.
Bathed in sunshine for a change, John Craig finishes off the framework for the room dividers as apple green paint goes up. It's amazing what you find behind old display boards.
Well, it's just as well the whiteboard's going over the top. Yeah, that's it.
Well, this is a tremendous resource, Wendy. Tell me about this space.
This is the Caterpillar Room in 4 Acres Children's Centre. The Children's Centre is a combination of a Sure Start unit and a neighbourhood nursery. And these rooms are wonderful learning environments for small people, as you can see. There's things to roll on and things to read and things to do and places to play inside and out.
And this is very much the standard that you want 4 Acres Primary School to achieve, isn't it?
Absolutely, because this is part of the Every Child Matters debate again, is that the Children's Centre and the school will eventually all come under Children's Services. So what we want to do is to provide a seamless, high-quality learning environment from birth to 11. And as you can see, the primary school still needs a lot of work doing, but we're on our way.
Inexpensive polycarbonate sheeting, supported by the softwood framework, will provide the facing of the room dividers. The repositioned whiteboard is at the heart of the design.
John, you seem to have achieved a lot already. How's it going?
Done a great deal, in fact. I'm really chuffed. As you can see, these frames that are going in, these are the partitions to make this sort of small, perhaps reading area, sort of quiet area. These strips are going to be fixed, and about 4 of these along here. Some of them are going to have a film on. It's like a green film or a blue film or something. Again, with that sort of earthy colours, bringing the outside back in. Behind me, we have a blue wall. And I've decided, it wasn't initially on the plan, but we're going to do a mural. The whiteboard has now moved from over there to the place where we said it would go, and the colours are all going on, so it's going rather well.
So, you're going to be finished in no time, then?
Well, not in no time. I mean, there's still a fair bit to do, but no, it's going well. It is going well.
Every new school has to reflect the area within which it's built, as well as serving its local community. Architects involved in the government's Building Schools for the Future programme have been working hard to incorporate their designs into the local landscape. RTKL Architects have designed a suburban secondary school which has a real relationship with its local spaces. Although one of the UK's biggest architectural practices, RTKL has almost no experience of building new schools. But they've deliberately harnessed their own naivety in their exemplar design for a new secondary school.
Understanding our lack of knowledge in the first place meant that we started with a sacrificial design. We went through a whole process of discussing what the stakeholder, what the end user would need from the school, and then using that knowledge, and by carefully studying the process that we'd gone through, we were able to fish out what was the best part of that design and what were the things that weren't necessary, that perhaps were baggage from our other architectural experience, and also it allowed us to see the nuggets of good architectural design that came out of that process. And we did what we decided to call scenario testing, where each of our designs were investigated from the different viewpoints of different users. So a year 7 starting on their first day, how would they react to the school, how would they use the school. Here we've got Bobby, who's got to go to the assembly hall for his first day, his inaugural meeting with the headmaster, headmistress. And then again, we had another example of a disgruntled year 8 who comes in and actually bullies Bobby on his first day. And then how does the teacher deal with that? So we had this whole narrative that we used to test every one of our designs, and that totally informed the way actually we produced the final scheme. It was a way for us to check our design process all the way through. At any point, any decision that was made, it would always just get ran through the narrative, the story, to see if it still performed. So we included in our scheme an idea of creating enterprise units for small industry and small businesses that the school could then interact with. And this was based around what we've called the school street, which runs between these two items. But the industry on one side, the school on the other. In our classroom clusters that run around the edge of the building, we've got these clear story lights that will allow natural light to flow into all parts of those classroom clusters. Also, that be used for natural ventilation of space. Now we've got a better shot of our enterprise units here, and then the school street that runs between the vocational subjects of the school and the enterprise unit. That will be a protected street. Down that school street, we've got places for bike storage, we've got turning circles for the coach drop-off, we've got different bits of soft landscaping. Here we move into the corridor on the ground floor. We're moving towards our defensible open space, which is coming up here, the courtyard. You'll see there's a very sort of thin boundary between internal space and the external space of the courtyard. And here we have on the left-hand side one of our breakout spaces in between the two classroom clusters, which will be used for a variety of different teaching methods. So here we are at the central stair, which is the core of the building, which we see as being a very important community hub of the building. And moving up, we're now in the mathematics and science part of the building. Materials-wise, we wanted to have a sort of luscious texture to it. The building had to interact well with the people that are going to touch it. Here you'll note that we've got glazing from this point up, which means that any teacher inside that classroom has a clear view into those corridor spaces. So there's a sort of passive surveillance that goes on in the community corridors. And then here we're moving into the mezzanine level of the main hall. So you see that's quite a big space there. That will accept all the students and can be also used for drama, that sort of thing.
Back at 4 Acres, John Craig shows that he's not just a good carpenter. Far from it. He's been commissioned to do mural work all over the world.
John, you're a man of many talents. I had no idea.
Makes you change from MDF, really, doesn't it? The little angels, bless them, have done all these little drawings. There's a house, and there's a bug, and there's a spider, and there's a tree. We're going to stick those on, and I suppose it's going to be like a treat for them because they have their piece of artwork onto my piece of artwork. Then it's like a gold star for them, if you like. So we're halfway there at the moment.
Well, I'm jolly impressed. I might get you to come around my house and do one of those on my kitchen wall.
Sharon, you're so charming.
Caroline, as the Governor who chairs the Premises and Finance Committee at the school, what are your priorities for 4 Acres?
Priorities really are to create a vibrant learning environment which inspires children to value education and to bring the school up to date because it's been neglected for quite a long time.
And does what we're doing in here fit in with those priorities?
It really does, yeah, because if you can show children, give them a quality learning environment to learn in, then hopefully they will see the value of education, because if they're learning in an environment that's run down and there's been no care taken over it, over the last few years, then what message is that giving to them about the value of education?
To complete the room dividers, blue plastic film was applied to the surface of the sheeting. John's nearly done now, and new teacher Shu Roy is working on some new displays.
Tell me what you think.
Brilliant.
Is it brilliant?
Yeah.
Is it what you thought?
Yeah.
Are your pictures going to look good on that?
Yeah.
I think your pictures are going to look brilliant on that.
Audiovisual equipment is becoming ever more sophisticated in schools. Here at 4 Acres, they've linked up a webcam with a performance space and a video and TV, so they can actually watch children as they perform and record as they learn. Here are some ideas for audiovisual equipment which may help in your schools. Good audiovisual gear can be a fantastic investment for learning. From the trusty old OHP machine to modern televisuals and electronic aids, audiovisual techniques have become an essential tool that all teachers need to harness at primary and secondary level. This translates written words into sounds, and this system allows all 30 members of the class to interact together at the same time. And interactive ICT devices are at the cutting edge of today's classroom learning. The British Educational Suppliers Association have a code of practice which their members comply with. You can find details of all these products on the Teachers TV website.
The Year 2 classroom at 4 Acres School is nearly finished. Snazzy signage goes onto the room dividers, and funky new furniture comes in. Parents, governors and staff all work together to get the new room finished by the end of the weekend. The brief was to provide a new classroom teacher with a space less affected by traffic through the room at the ends of the day. Dividing the room into different zones with low-cost structures would give a more flexible learning environment. Colour would help bring the outside world into the room. The mural helped transform a dark corner.
John, are you pleased with the final results?
Very pleased. In fact, I've enjoyed myself doing this one. I think it's clean, I think it's fresh. I think the problem with these 2 doorways here and this walk-through, hopefully this will solve the problem with the screening there.
I think it looks much bigger actually, because the room's been properly zoned off for different activities. I think it's very, very clear what the purpose of it is now.
And the colouring helps, I think, with the green and, of course, the blue, the sky for those grey days. And not forgetting, of course, it wasn't MDF this week for me, it was painting pictures. And actually, I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was good. It was, and so hopefully, when they're in that little corner there behind me, a little time for daydreaming is not a bad thing.
So a bit of inspiration on the wall for them as well then?
A bit of inspiration, yeah. And I love their artwork, even though everything's out of perspective, but it was just great seeing them get involved and putting that on there, and they worked really well towards it. But generally, I think it's all worth, just generally twisting this classroom around, keeping that thoroughfare clear, brightening up the whole room, and creating a space here with the screens, at least you can see through them. I think the whole thing comes together and works well.
The overall budget for the room was a little over £1,000.
Wendy, Shu, the room's all finished. Are you pleased with it?
I think it's fantastic. It's bright, clear, fresh, new. Yeah.
And Wendy, we've changed the focus of the room by putting the whiteboard behind us here.
Yes, and that's a much better space for it. It's much more secure, out of the thoroughfare, and the security that children need as one of the conditions for learning is now there for them, yeah.
And what we tried to do is to define the circulation route, so actually you've got quite a space here now that people can see with the screens behind us particularly.
Yes, and that works well because the children come in, go past the screen, and then come back round inside the safety of the screen, ready to learn.
Yeah.
Exactly what we wanted.
And in terms of the smart space behind us, as we've called it.
Yes, for me, this allows for the different styles of learning that children have. They can come in here and work by themselves in little groups on an investigation or whatever.
Yeah. And I think it's quite nice to have a chill-out space when children are a little bit upset or need some space out. It's lovely to have that.
And what do you think of John's artwork in the corner?
It's
Fantastic.
And do you think you'll be able to carry this through to the other areas of the school that we've been talking about?
I think we will. Already the governors are looking and talking about finding other people that we could set a challenge for particular areas of the school and using some of the principles that we've put into this room.
And we've had a lot of help from the whole school community this week.
Yes, I must thank everybody that's come in over the weekend. It's been fantastic. There's been parents, governors, friends of the school generally, and children, of course, who've really enjoyed it, plus the staff of the school, who always turn out on occasions like this. So, yes, thank you to everybody.
Well, we've had a great time. Thank you both very much.
Well, and thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
If you've been involved in an exciting design project or would like help transforming an area of your school, All Change would love to hear from you. You can contact us through the Teachers TV website.